All right, guys. So now that we have these two very important documents done, which is the client authorization form and the release that's going over to the lender, let them know that you'll be, representing the client. The next thing you want to do is the offer letter. And I should stop by saying that the offer letter could have been done the step before, just depending on your situation. Usually, you will have the offer letter that you think you can go out and get for this client drafted up and included into the client authorization form, and just prompting ChatGPT to know what those terms are so it can, give you a letter that's suited for that. Or in the scenario where a client comes to you and they're already a past client, like in this case, and say, "Can you work on this?" Send the client authorization form. We'll deal with it later. Then that's why this video is set up the way that it is, because that's how we did it in this exact situation. So just playing it by ear now, I want to make sure that you understand that you should, and most always, all the time, have the offer letter that you think you're going to be able to get for this client ready to go, and include that into the authorization letter. But this client also, it's worth noting, had a pretty tall order because he was wanting to have his interest rate basically cut down to nothing. His monthly payment, he said he was paying 1060. He wanted to just the debt consolidation company he went to only charged him $50 extra a month and told him they were going to save him this huge percentage off, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me how that would have played out. I don't know if he ended up getting that deal, but in most case scenarios, I just want to pull in here that it's really important to mention. Most case scenarios, the conversation will go back and forth until you reach a point where the lender will normally say, "Okay, listen, if you give me double the monthly that you've been paying me so that I get paid faster, then I will remove X amount of the percentage, sometimes even all of it." Okay. And we are going to draft up a letter that's based around those sort of principles, because those are real world principles, not, "Hey, I'm a debt consolidation company. You're going to be paying me $50 a month. I'm going to be a new guy. You pay me $50 a month, and you're not going to have to pay any interest at the end of it," because no one knows if that scenario is actually going to play out. But in most cases, what does play out and tends to work is, an increase, if not double the increase, in the amount of monthly that you're paying on that particular loan, because the lender wants to get their money back faster. What we're going to do with all of that information, there's a lot to throw at you. We're going to jump over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do this, which, by the way, I want to add, copy, paste the entire conversation into ChatGPT. I'm going to already have that done, and we'll be prompting some extra pieces after in just a second. But always, always, always make sure that you're taking all the information from the conversation and including it into ChatGPT, so that in this case, like for example, where the client had mentioned that he was a victim of identity theft, when drafting up the letter, if you forget to include that part, you may screw yourself out of the deal, because that's an important piece. So copy paste entire conversation into ChatGPT, and then prompt it to say, "ChatGPT, create me an offer letter based on the best terms available in the industry for this situation." We're going to type that in next. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back. So we have now moved over to the ChatGPT page, where we are under our full-time credit repair support bot. And of course, we talked about creating our own custom ChatGPT bots in the earlier lesson plan. But we're just keeping everything in that one particular bot. And I am just clarifying what's happened here, which is that basically I took the entire conversation that I had with the client, I pasted it into here, I ran it through here. I then went over to the picture that he had sent me. I selected it and copied it, came back over to ChatGPT, pasted it in, as you can see it there, and made sure that it not only understood the image and what was happening, but the entire conversation in its entirety. And that's why it says, "Yes, I recall the earlier conversation and the context you provided about the individual situation regarding the investment scam, their discussion with the credit repair professional, and the details of their current loan with Achieve that you presented the image." Great. So I don't need to put this image again, but that is the setup for this particular clip. Let's now get our offer letter. So chat, given what you know about the situation. Please create an offer letter that is in the best interest of the client, and make sure you study online to see what are some of the most common offers made in these situations. Further, it should be noted that most debt consolidation companies, and forgive my spelling here. I'm gonna go back and change it. About It should be noted that most consolidation companies um, charge a small fee, and the conditions are usually that the client pays double the monthly norm, and if agreed, they will remove some or sometimes all of the interest. Please create a compelling letter. Thanks. We want to be nice to these guys, right? They maybe are. It might be like Terminator one day. Hope God not. But let's regenerate it. If we're not getting it right away, sometimes these things stall out, and it's going to take in the information I told it. It's going to remember the image. It's going to remember the earlier conversation. It's going to do a little searching online, and it's going to get back to us and let us know, what. Oh, see now, this is actually worth. This is worth noting. Wait a minute. You can search online. So if it does that to you, you can search online. Please do. And sometimes you have to, remind it of who you are, and sometimes you have to even say, "Hey, I pay for this service." So, common debt consolidation offers for victims of identity theft. That's a great term to be looking up. And now that it knows what you want, let's see what it spits out. So, let's go. Just giving you a breakdown of outlining those circumstances, the current financial snapshot, research based offer, client commitment, and the all the other parts, right? So now that it's knowing these bullet points, which is, by the way, excellent things to be able to present to your client if you're trying to win over these particular contracts. Now that it's done that, let's create the letter. Great. Let's create the offer letter. I've also found that when you're communicating with ChatGPT, if you be positive in your nature, your tone, your questions, your requests, it usually does a more thorough job of giving you an outputted, better example, we'll say. So let's see what it comes up with here. If you're nice to it. Okay, see what it's doing is it's pulling out the information from the image. And it's, giving this compelling statement. It's, extraordinary circumstances led to this. I'm fully committed to fulfilling my debt obligations. The enclosed documentation provides evidence. I'm over into further discussion. Thank you for your time and understanding in a sensitive matter. Now, you can, of course, start conversation with this, and you can go from there on the back and forth, or you can say, please include an offer that is double the monthly currently, actually, and then just say, because double the bi-monthly monthly now, and see what and write it up that way. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's, it knows what the current monthly price is, the current monthly cost that this client is paying. It knows this by monthly. So let's see it create a payment structure based on that information. So restructuring of my loan terms. So it's saying that the bi-monthly would increase, it would double basically, and it's providing extra pieces to it to see if they'd be interested in doing it. So this is it, folks. You're just basically tailoring it, copy pasting, going from there. All right, let's keep moving along.